were dead and others injured. Controller and Accountant General assures investigations and recovery of unearned salaries and allowances paid to individuals who have left or resigned from the public service. Candidates of Ofuasi Senior High School in the Bekwai municipality of the Ashanti region frustrated over the long distance they have to travel to participate in the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate Examination. We'll be speaking to WAEC over some of the concerns that have come up so far. Very much for staying with us. We are still live on Metro Television and we are live on DSTV channel 277 and also live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. Now let's get into the details of the stories. The Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Ejay says he's bent on engaging the Office of the Special Prosecutor to retrieve unearned salaries and allowances paid to individuals in various institutions who have either vacated their post or resigned while deploying stringent measures to curb such occurrences. Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament on Monday, Kwesi Ejay expressed worry over long processes required to stop individuals from receiving unearned payment. Jeffrey Mauto Atipu has more.
All the institutions and agencies who appeared before the Public Accounts Committee since Monday, August 18, were cited for various financial misappropriations ranging from unearned salaries, allowances and underpayments, among others, amounting to millions of cedis after these individuals, most of them holding top positions, have either vacated their posts without notice or resigned. At the Ghana Education Service, for instance, over 50 districts were flagged for various misconducts as monies were paid to staff under the guise of them being disabled, although they are able. Representatives of the institutions who appeared before the committee admitted the concerns and claimed they have issued written notices to the Controller General to stop the payments. During the sitting on Monday, August 25, the chairperson of the committee, Abna Osei-Asari, questioned why the Controller and Accountant General Department was unable to stop those payments.
Last week, Friday, we met Ghana Education Service, Ministry of Education, and consistently, every district that was cited for one infraction or the other had to do with overpayments and unearned salaries and payment of responsibility allowance to those not deserving of them. And for some of the districts, they maintained that they sent letters to Controller and Accountant General to halt these payments. Some said they have done that for a year. Others said they have done that for some months. And Controller and Accountant General has still not been able, has not stopped these payments.
The Controller and Accountant General, Kwesi Ejay, admitted the concerns and gave reasons for such occurrences.
The processes that the letters go through, they don't come direct to Controller. They will write, if from the district, it goes to the region, it comes to headquarters before it comes to Controller. So maybe we also have to investigate to find out that did the letters actually get to Controller. There are situations where the district will write, it comes to the head office or even the region for about 6 months. So we also need to, that's what we want to meet the GES and the Ghana Health Service to look at our operations and their operations as well. And I remember I said this, we have a client service charter. We can revisit that and then agree on timelines. If there's a letter from a district to a region, how long should we be in the region before it comes to the head office?
He assured that pragmatic measures are being put in place to address the issues, including the involvement of the OSP to address the concerns.
It shouldn't just end at recovery, because we realized that we were happy when they said recovered and then we take, recovered and we take. We should go beyond recovery. Who actually did it? If it is Controller, the inputs. So the audit report will definitely indicate the recipients and their staff ID, if that should be in the audit report. So I want that report. We are working in collaboration with other security agencies, OSP, because if somebody did it, definitely we are using an Oracle system. There's an audit trail. We can go into the system and then identify who actually on that particular day process their allowances. It's something very easy that we can do.
The Public Accounts Committee has charged the Deputy Minister for Finance, Thomas Apem Jankon, to investigate why the GRA pays over 2 million cedis to judgment debt to 3 companies whose licenses have been revoked, and report to the committee within 30 days. The committee vowed to take action against the ministry if tangible reasons are not given within the given time.
The charge follows the GRA's inability to make a case in court on the matter, resulting in the payment of funds when the companies headed to court to demand compensation, according to the Auditor General's reports.
You suspend their licenses, they take you to court, give us the reasons why you suspended it, you can't give them. And because of that, we paid over 2 million Ghana cedis. Rade and Kopo. Who made that decision to suspend the licenses?
The Deputy Finance Minister, Thomas Apem Jankon, who appeared before the committee, assured the ministry is investigating the matter and will report to the committee appropriately.
They still believe that the decision to suspend the licenses were taken correctly. The challenge they had was proving that in court. And it was in the process of defending GRA in court that they did not get the evidence that they needed at the time because of the migration of the data from one system to the other. And so the question is who to surcharge. Is it the person who, in their opinion, took the right decision to suspend licenses, or the ones that could not get the information to prosecute the case in court?
In a related development, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sarpong, vowed to recover tax owed by institutions, including state-owned, to the tune of over 47 million cedis. He noted that out of the 47 million, only 59,000 have been recovered since he assumed office in January this year, when he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee on Monday.
I want to take this opportunity to ask and to appeal to taxpayers that it's not a matter of dodging the tax, it's a matter of dialoguing with us and finding the ways to settle their debt, even in difficult times. We are also at rare occasions, use the enforcement actions that are permitted in law, which is either garnishing accounts or sealing off. But we always say GRA want to have the human face, and therefore we're not using these actions as norm, but really. And what we would like to encourage taxpayers that we shouldn't get to that point.
He intimated that whilst pursuing the institutions for tax compliance, care must be taken not to collapse state-owned institutions facing challenges.
When you are struggling on your business performance, it affects your cash flows. However, these institutions also play a vital role in our societies, and therefore you deal with them in a manner that ensures that they can continue to play the vital role that they contribute to our society, while at the same time working with them to collect the money.
Now, away from that, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yehuno, has led a high-level security delegation to the Savannah region following violent clashes that left several people dead and others injured. According to the Ghana Police Service, the team from the National Police Headquarters will meet with chiefs, opinion leaders, and community representatives to discuss ways of restoring calm.
Heavy clashes which erupted in Benyiri, a farming community in the Saola Tuna Kalba district of the Savannah region, left at least 10 people dead and 12 others injured. The violence, believed to have been triggered by a protracted land dispute, has persisted despite the deployment of police and military personnel to the area. The Ghana Police Service explained that the visit of the IGP forms part of a broader effort to reinforce security in Saola, Benyiri, and other affected communities. In a statement, the police urged all parties to remain calm and cooperate with the security agencies to ensure lasting peace. The clashes, which broke out on Sunday, August 24, at Gbenyiri were triggered by a land dispute. At least 5 people were killed, while 6 others sustained gunshot wounds, 3 of them critically. Meanwhile, reinforcement teams, including personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces, have already been deployed to help stabilize the situation.
Away from that, a total of 400,640 candidates have commenced the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Ghana. This figure comprises of 207,381 males and 250,259 females, representing a slight increase of 1,209 candidates compared to the 400,611 who sat for the examination in 2024. Our colleague Vanessa Edotomboaten is currently at the Accra High School to bring us more on updates on the ongoing examination.
Today, 26th August, candidates at the Accra High School are continuing with their 2025 WASSCE. A total of 652 students from the Accra High School, where I am currently, are writing the exams with various subjects scheduled across the week. Now, nationwide, 461,640 candidates made up of 207,381 males and 254,251 females are taking part in this year's exam, a slight increase from 2024. Now, written papers officially began on August 20, following the start of practicals on August 4. As with recent years, Ghana is using its own WASSCE timetable, separate from other West African countries. Now, WAEC officials and the Deputy Minister of Education are visiting centers to monitor for more practice.
Our assessment generally is good. For each of the schools we visited, what we saw, if that represents the situation, then I would say that it's good. We've heard of student assaulting security persons, but the schools have taken the necessary steps to deal with the issue based on our disciplinary code. And I wish to use this opportunity to tell our students that we don't want violence in our schools. We don't want to encourage the use of violence to seek redress. Any student who engages in indiscipline or violent behaviors will be punished severely.
While students with special needs are being given 50% extra time to ensure fairness. Now, let's speak to the Assistant Headmaster Academics and Supervisor Fred Opong Ampofo at the Accra High Senior School.
Nobody has misbehaved. From the briefing that we gave them, all the tutorials, all the counseling that we gave them, they are going by it. The major paper that we have written so far are oral English, which was very smooth. And yesterday we wrote social studies. We have a total candidature of 652. Yesterday, the head of National Office for WAEC passed through here, Dr. Rosemond Wilson, and we were commended that everything was smooth and the students conducted themselves to the maximum.
Reporting for Metro News, Vanessa Edotomboaten, Accra.
Still on WAEC examinations, candidates of Ofuasi Senior High School in the Bekwai municipality of the Ashanti region have expressed frustration in the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate examination. Their major concern is with the overcrowded buses which convey them to the centers and the danger posed due to overspeeding. They are calling on authorities to resolve the situation to avert any eventuality. There's more in the following report by Abdul Basit Suleiman. Kokobin Senior High School presented 405 candidates for the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination. The school, since its establishment in 2010, had been an examination center for candidates in the school. However, the center was changed this year to Bekwai SDA SHS without early notification to the student. On August 5, 2025, when it was rumored that the center has changed, the Parent-Teacher Association of the school petitioned GES about the distance of the new center. Subsequently, the GES provided two 60-seater capacity buses to transport the candidates. The students explained that the buses are overloaded, causing so much inconvenience.
We have to board bus from Ofansi Kokobin Senior High School to Bekwai SDA every morning. And even as we stand here now, many of us we have not eaten. And the bus was congested. We have to sit in pairs. Some of us have to sit on others' lapses. And that doesn't help because as students and candidates as we are, we have to get a peace of mind and be learning.
Some were even standing in the car and some were even sitting on tools. So that's one day we will beg you that as for the bus, you should increase it maybe 3 or 4 so that looking at the number of students and giving us 2 buses, it's quite difficult.
It was only 1 bus transporting 405 students to Bekwai. So even the speed involved in the transportation to Bekwai was too much. And the arrangements in the car is terrible.
Adding a voice to the plight of the candidates, the representative of the Parents-Teacher Association appealed to the Ministry of Education as a matter of agency, intervene and provide the needed solution to avert any unforeseen calamity.
Yes, Asante Regional Education Director enim na enru Asante Region Minister enim na enko Education Minister the whole Ghana enim. If you say sawa hawe ya omodi yen awofo afem ene yema na fem no anu odin.
When contacted, the Municipal Chief Executive of Bekwai acknowledged the challenges and gave an assurance to fix the situation.
We are going to ensure that if we are going to maintain the buses, then we want them to start conveying them as early as possible so that it could go to the place twice or more to ensure that there are no congestions in the buses.
The MCE noted that he is in touch with the GES to resolve an ongoing impasse between the headmistress and the school.
We are putting in place measures to ensure that there is no problem in the course of this examination. And the issue about...
Now, John Kape is the Public Relations Officer of the West African Examination Council. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on Good Afternoon Ghana.
Good afternoon and thanks for having me.
Great. Now, you promised tighten measures against malpractices. How has it been so far and what are some of the things you have uncovered?
Thanks for having me. We have indeed increased our monitoring. There are a few more officers that we are about to deploy onto the field. The reports that we have received so far indicates, some impersonation cases somewhere in the Ashanti region, and then also some candidates around Brekum, where a lot of them, virtually every single candidate had foreign material on them in the examination hall. So these are some of the few reports we received so far.
Okay. We have been to some of the schools, and one of the key concerns is the change in exams venue for students. And Ofuasi Senior High School, for instance, what goes into some of these changes, and what also they also claim that they have not been informed on time. So really, how do we take it from here?
No, the issue about not being informed on time certainly is not tenable, because before we take any decision, we would have investigated properly. We would also have sat on the issues, and then we would communicate with the affected persons the reasons for which we are taking certain decisions, and when those decisions will be effective. So obviously, there's no justification for anyone to say that they were not informed early enough. That is not absolutely correct.
Okay, now you provided 2 buses to convey them to the center, but it seems it's not enough. How come over 400 students are sharing 2 buses from Ofuase to Bekwai?
This is not provision by WAEC. WAEC will simply tell you that based on this and that, we are relocating your examination center to this and that center. And so it is the responsibility of the authorities to provide transportation for these candidates to move from wherever they are to the examination center. WAEC does not provide that kind of transport.
So who exactly provides that?
Well, that will be the responsibility of the school authorities.
Okay, so I guess that takes us to the point where they are saying that they were not informed on time, because if they were, probably they will make, room for all these things. Don't you think so?
That's why I'm indicating to you that it is not right for anyone to say that they were not given prior notice or they were not adequately informed. I told you earlier that once we find that something has gone wrong in your school, we communicate with you early. For example, a week prior to the examination, we have received a whole lot of information about collection of money from candidates to assist them in the examination. And so based on that, we decided to write a general letter to all heads of school, and we copied the Ghana Education Service as well. So we do not take arbitrary decisions and then, want them implemented within the blink of an eye. No, we don't do that.
Okay, there has also been some issues of assault on some officers. Now, can you elaborate on this for us?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
There has been assault on an officer. Would like you to elaborate on that for us.
Well, as I speak, I have not received any report on the assault, and so I'm unable to comment on that.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
It's my pleasure.
Right. Now, let's go ahead to politics. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has urged global investors to take advantage of Africa's immense economic potential, describing the continent as the world's best dynamic emerging market and positioning Ghana as the most reliable entry point. He made the call in his address at the opening of the 8th Africa-Singapore Business Forum on Tuesday, August 26, 2025. According to him, Africa offers a unique opportunity for businesses and investors ready to scale, particularly in renewable energy, technology, and trade.
Africa-Singapore trade rose by 50% between 2020 and 2024 to nearly $14 billion, with West Africa accounting for more than half of that. Ghana-Singapore trade has also grown, reaching over $215 million in 2024 alone. I speak today as an African leader and as President of Ghana, and our message is simple. Africa is investable, and Ghana is your reliable gateway to that continent. When I say it's a gateway, it really is. Ghana, if you look at the map of Africa, Ghana is like a little door, on that map. And aside from that, Ghana is the center of the world because it's a country where the meridian and the equator intersect. So we're located geographically, strategically. We're 1.4 billion people, young, fast urbanizing, digitally connected, rapidly growing middle class, and Africa's cities will host more than 700 million consumers by 2030. The African Continental Free Trade Area is the largest new free trade area in the world by number of countries, and this creates a $3.4 trillion market and lowered barriers across supply chains on the continent. Africa holds vast renewable energy potential and is already a global leader in mobile money and fintech adoption. This is a market ready for skilled solutions. Yet this opportunity must be matched with capital at the right price and with the right instruments. As the African Union champion on financial institutions, I must be candid. The current global financial architecture remains inequitable for low and middle income countries. Africa faces an annual financing gap estimated at $1.3 trillion. Infrastructure needs alone run between 181 and $221 billion per year.
Still on politics this afternoon, a member of the NDC communications team, Hamza Suhuyini, has called on flag bearer hopeful of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to apologize to Ghanaians for introducing tribal politics into the NPP presidential primaries. Now, according to him, Dr. Bawumia is better than other candidates and should live up to expectations. Meanwhile, NPP communication team member Enes Adade believes the comments of Hamza Suhuyini is untrue and calling on him to retract his comment and apologize to Dr. Bawumia. They both spoke earlier on Good Morning Ghana.
Let me state clearly that I think that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he owes the good people of this country an apology.
Oh, why?
Especially when it comes to the issue of tribal and religious politics.
Really?
Yes, he needs to apologize for us to move away from that kind of politicking. And if he wants some measure of credibility back, I think that the honorable thing to do is to apologize to all of us for, first of all, introducing it into our body politic and now seeking to run away from it. It is his own making. He carved out that niche for himself. He built a house for himself, rooted in the ideals of ethnicity and religion. And he's living in it today. So if he feels it, if he thinks that it is repugnant now, the only honorable thing to do, if he still has some measure of credibility, which I want to believe he does, then he needs to apologize, first to the New Patriotic Party, to the good people of this country, also for...
Then it's a fact. So it's a fact that these statements were made. I have seen videos that people are circulating now that this issue had come up, where His Excellency, the former Vice President, himself has made statements in that direction. And somebody was asking me, so when he was making those statements, was he being a tribal bigot or was he being religiously intolerant? I don't believe so. I believe he was making factual statements to get votes for himself, and that is the reason why we go out to campaign. I just feel that whatever this is generating, we have seen the fact. This is what he said. This is what Brian is saying. If anybody would want to base his vote for His Excellency Bawumia or Brian on this, that's the person's issue. But let's state the facts first. And after we have stated the facts, then we find a solution. I have said consistently that I love the NPP. Like you said, I have worked for the NPP for years. I have done all that a human being could do for the NPP. And I want to see the NPP back in power. I want us to make inroads.
Let's shift our attention now to the DVLA. The Chief Executive Officer of the Driving and Vehicle Licensing Authority, Julius Nikwe-Kote, has revealed that he inherited a $200 million debt burden upon assuming office. Now, despite the financial challenges, the DVLA boss said the authority has made remarkable progress under his leadership. He spoke yesterday on Good Afternoon Ghana.
Getting into office, I realized the DVLA has a lot of debt on its hand. That in our dollar account, we're faced with something close to $200 million. In the city account, it was close to, or a little over $300 million. 3 million Ghana cedis, sorry. But, I mean, we are working towards it. I'm not sure there was or there is any single institution in Ghana or agency, government agency in Ghana that one was not starting with debt under the NPP. But that is not why we are here now. But you see, and the dollar debt in my institution has to do with the fact that a contract was signed, which is supposed to deal with the road-ready system, the hardware, credibility of the system, and the software itself, which is about $51.8 million annually.
Okay.
And this year is the 3rd year. Well, those who signed a contract were not able to pay $1 before leaving. And as young as 38 years. This is the debt Mr. Kwesi Ajimambuzia left for me to come and pay.
Let's do some social stories now. Ghanaian student Nana Ejeinshia, who was allegedly murdered in Lavia, has been laid to rest. Spokesperson of the family, Sarah Nimeli, says government must investigate the death of the 18-year-old who died under suspicious circumstances and bring offenders to book.
Nana Ajay, a first-year electrical engineering student at Riga Technical University, died on June 4, 2025, after enrolling at the institution in July 2024. His death sparked concerns both within the family and at Ghana's diplomatic mission in Europe. It was a time of sorrow and sadness as the family cried uncontrollably during his funeral rites, memorial and burial service of the late Nana Ajay Ahia. The family in Ghana demanded justice and a full-scale investigation following the suspicious death of their 19-year-old relative.
Oh, yeah, the restaurant is a woman paibum. Na yentuminya justice na yehwehwe no ma na neji. Se se de wa say de yentumi san fa na mabium. Na momotuminya justice na at least e be ma yakoma to yeyem. We are
pleading with the Foreign Affairs Minister to intervene in this matter and investigate it for closure. All efforts to find out what happened have proved futile for us.
Abanza, anytime be Berlin embassy, ebe kohonom no Ghana embassy e Berlin ebe kohono sa na wo muka. Nti ye hwe ni mu say this time no me feel say Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa, Obemuna, a Bibia be into me bumpires, obey to me, Ashe, now one more them Rana Juma.
According to them, they have petitioned the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and they are yet to get information on that.
I am appealing to the Ghana Embassy, to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, to take this up because it's a test case. Having assumed the office as Foreign Affairs Minister, I think this is one of his first international or foreign cases that he needs to take it up. And with the family, we have hope in him. We believe in him. And we know that he will bring us justice. He will deliver so that we'll be comforted.
Nana Ajay Ahia has been living in an apartment on Basnika Street in Riga. On June 1st, just 3 days before his death, he reportedly sent a disturbing voice note claiming he has been poisoned. On June 4th, his relatives were informed that he had allegedly fallen from the 6th floor of the apartment and died.
That's rather sad, but on this note, that's where we draw the curtains for today's edition of News Update on Good Afternoon Ghana. I'm Helena Nyeweja, and we are going for a break. When we return, my senior colleague Akwesi Efriye will come through with Business Edge. Do stay.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentations. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a micro system. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
We brought you the first 2 conferences, which were awesome. Great leadership ideas shared. On popular request, the third in the series of Women in Strategic Leadership Conference, put together by ASWAM and Tarragon, comes off on September 24 to 27 at the Plash Camp Chache Resort, Adan. Come, engage with astute women with great leadership ideas and skills on the conference theme, Women at the Helm, Driving Strategic Change. On the bill for this special conference are outstanding women such as Genevieve Pearl Duncan Obobi, banker, trainer, SME consultant, speaker and author. Miss AC Mills Robertson, Director of Inclusive Banking at Fidelity Bank Ghana, and Mrs. Augustina Atkinson Dadebo, Counseling Psychologist and Assistant Registrar, UPSA. Do call 059-205-2286 or 024-403-5731. Come and let's advance women in leadership while creating a supportive community as well as empower women in leadership.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here.
Her photographs are going to sell fast, and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend?
Everything in the world revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Enough of classroom memorization. Science must be practical. That is why the Quiz Talk is bringing Ghana's first ever National STEM Quiz. This program will spark the students' interest in STEM. Science, of course, is the mother of all creation. Starting from creation itself, from the plants to the animals, everything you see is STEM careers drive modern economies. From engineering and medicine to software development and space exploration.
Engineering combines both science and technology to solve various problems around our society. For example, the roads we use, the cars we drive, and the airplanes we use to transport ourselves from one country to the other. What can you do to solve human problems? Come, join us on Quiz Talk, coming soon.
So come to Quiz Talk and then demonstrate your skills and help us with the STEM education.
Fifra ye free nyina ye de obedient a. Ye ya fugia ne aduane.
Sansro pintin bi aseda ome. Di yedi koye mu ne de awie nyina na makuafo modem mo so. Won fifire su ne nya bidio. Nanso bate aseman Ghana mu a. Akuafo akoya abo pupu obo wasio na so da su kache. Won san fifire mama mu nyina nya bidie. Nanso mpuntudwo mu aka akiri pa. Ekwan ben ne befa so ama akuafo fifire ho aba mfaso de. Aban hyehye ne dwumadi ahodo ode bre akuafo no bo wote ase. Feed Ghana ye den. Na nkokọ ketenkete so mfaso ama akuafo nso ye den. We nti na hyehye dwumadi esunkwa ya to ne akuafo mo. Ye de bre Original TV and Metro TV so. Dwumadi beba akwanya ama mpanyimfo anim de ewa aba fukaye mu akire wadwen. Ye je akuafo ha no amane akoji mu aye e de free aba mu mpanyimfo ho. Enimi ni ehia akuafo yonko samo honto eda joada enwumre no nso kosi ne no nwotwe e Original TV so. Saa nso na da yawada enwumre no nwotwe kosi no nkono e Metro TV so. Akuafo mo Ghana akuafo abomode na yempene wo.
Akuafo mo is sponsored by ACAP Compost. ACAP Compost comes in 3 varieties: ACAP Compost, ACAP Compost X, ACAP Compost Plus.
Back in the day, tune in radio from morning, and you don't want to miss out because anybody who comes on is massive.
Back in the day on Metro TV, Mr. BKD anywhere.
Back in the day, mentioning the place that you used to live, no, that meant that you were Dadaba.
Oh, how?
Because we are the ones who went to Saito.
I wasn't really a nightclub person.
No, I mean,
the only times I went to the nightclub, Yoko Dixon took me.
Yeah.
You have a Walkman by your side. Now that was your selector. The Walkman was your selector. So when you play the first song and you want to change the song, you have to start cueing your next song through your headphone.
Hi, my name is Ivan Kwashigan. I'm the CEO of Farmhouse Productions. I'm a film director, producer. You are watching Back in the Days with Sammy B on Metro TV.
Massa, we a guy, yes, I'm be a feature. This is Back in the Day. Keep watching.
Back in the Day is brought to you by Telecel Ghana.
Right, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us this very afternoon. We are happy to have you watching us wherever you're watching us from. We are coming your way live from our studios here at Rage in Accra. So just gone by is the new segment of the Business Edge of the Good Afternoon Ghana show. Yesterday was purely politics, but you know that when it's Tuesdays or Thursdays, we look at business, how we can help the creation of employment in the economy, how we can help the development of agriculture, how we can help the growth of creative arts, transport, everything that has to do with the economic growth of the country. This afternoon promises to be a very exciting one because we are getting into an area that most of us are engaged in, but we don't pay particular attention to: the creative arts industry, not only within the borders of our dear country, Ghana, but also beyond our borders into West Africa and maybe into Africa as a whole. How do we maximize the impact of tourism? How do we actually focus on the growth of tourism, on the growth of creative arts, on the growth of the entire industry to the benefit of every citizen of the continent? And so that's how we are going to start the show this afternoon. I'm sure whoever you are, you would be interested in our discussions this afternoon. I'll come back to that pretty shortly. Right after that, we'll be having an interview on the market. So you remember that we got an interview with the Securities and Exchange Commission on how the markets are performing so far in the year 2025. I was worried about the decline in the sale of bonds, for example, on the market, people that are buying treasury bills and so on and so forth. There are other indicators which are performing very well. This afternoon, we'll be asking a private practitioner on how they think the markets are performing, and we'll go to some of the details of that. But we'll begin the entire show, obviously, with how the city is performing against the major trading currencies, especially for those of you who have something to do and businesses to do with the major trading currencies from Europe, from America, from all the partners that we deal with in trade. So we'll begin with that of the US dollar. Let's see how the city is performing against the US dollar. The city is currently buying at 10.9445, so approximately 10.9, and then selling for, oh, this is the euro. The euro is, wow, this is exciting. Well, there seemed to be some kind of mix-up. Well, so the sign, forgive us for the sign of, so we were actually right, this is the dollar, but forgive us for the sign. That's some kind of a challenge from the graphics. So I would rectify that immediately, but let's quickly get to the euro. Let's get to the euro now. And the euro is also performing very well. It's doing 12.78. That's it's buying for 12.78 Ghana cedis and selling for 12.76 Ghana cedis. That's how the euro is also performing on the market. So the cedi is still quite strong on the market for that of the dollar and the euro. And then the British pound sterling. Forgive us about the sign once again. We'll rectify that immediately. Maybe by the end of the show, we'll present it to you appropriately. The British pound sterling, which seems to be the strongest so far, is buying for 14.7631, and selling for 14.7789. So that's about 14.8 Ghana cedis. So if you go to the commercial banks as of this morning, or maybe even in the afternoon, and of course from the close of business as of yesterday, this is how much you are going to find it on the market. So that's how the performance of the exchange rate is going on the market. I'll come back to the studio, and I've told you already what we are discussing this afternoon. I'll take a quick break. When I am back, it will be a very short one, maybe a minute's break. When I'm back, my guests will be seated in the studio, and then we can begin the discussions.
Launched by the Black Star Experience Secretariat in partnership with the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the African Tourism Partners, will bring together policymakers, industry leaders, and creatives from all 54 African countries. Rex Omar is the coordinator of the Black Star Experience at the Office of the President.
The Creatives Connect Forum and Festival taking place from 26th to 28th in November 2025 will gather thought leaders, industry practitioners, policymakers, and investors for dialogue, masterclasses, exhibitions, live showcases, film screening, fashion presentation, and business matchmaking. It will not only celebrate Africa's creative wealth, but also unlock pathways for new markets and opportunities under the AFTA framework.
Speaking to Metro News, Francis Doku, West African Regional Director of Africa Tourism Partners, described the festival as a transformational platform for Africa's creative space.
This was to launch the Creatives Connect Africa by the AFCFTA. And the AFCFTA, in partnership with the government of Ghana through the Black Star Experience Secretariat, and then the Africa Tourism Partners. I think that we have realized that there's a need to give some empowerment to the creatives on the continent. If the agenda that Africa has set for itself, Agenda 2063, the AFCFTA, and everything that we're doing will succeed, I think we believe that creatives will play a very important role. So this is to look at how to bring creatives across the continent and beyond together to have conversations, to have partnerships, and see how to escalate the things that they do already.
On her part, the Director of Trade in Services, Investment, Intellectual Property Rights and Digital Trade at the AFTA Secretariat, Emily Mburu Ndoria, said this was a great opportunity for creatives across the African continent to collaborate.
What is expected out of this forum and festival is for our African youth to actually take up the opportunities that the African Continental Free Trade Area is creating together with the government of Ghana and the African tourism partners to showcase what they have so that their creative works moves from just being a hobby to being a productive and prosperous work that can actually give them the revenue that they need to actually develop the few sectors that they are working on.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here.
Her photographs are going to sell fast, and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend?
You Are the One. Featuring Alejandra Robles Gil, Brandon Peniche, Danilo Carrera, Bárbara Islas, Ernesto LaGuardia, and a great cast.
You're welcome back from the break. I'm getting into the interview pretty shortly, but let me play a video for you. The video you saw earlier. Let me give you the concept and the understanding to the video. And I have guests from AFTA and experts here to talk about our topic this afternoon. But let me make you understand the video very well. And I'll play it for you again. Then I come back to the studio for my discussion. So Ghana is set to host the maiden edition of a Creative Connect Africa Forum. It's a festival which is coming up. It is continental and it is aimed at unlocking the potential of Africa's creative economy. And I'm quite excited about the conversation I'm going to have because I want to focus on the creative arts economy. Not just the talent, not just the entertainment that we all get ourselves engulfed and involved in, but the economic aspect of it. And these are people who are well versed in that area. So let's see the video. We'll come back and get straight into the discussion.
The initiative, launched by the Black Star Experience Secretariat in partnership with the African Continental Free Trade Area (AFTA) and the African Tourism Partners, will bring together policymakers, industry leaders, and creatives from all 54 African countries. Rex Omar is the coordinator of the Black Star Experience at the Office of the President.
The Creatives Connect Forum and Festival, taking place from 26th to 28th in November 2025, will gather thought leaders, industry practitioners, policymakers, and investors for dialogue, masterclasses, exhibitions, live showcases, film screening, fashion presentation, and business matchmaking. It will not only celebrate Africa's creative wealth, but also unlock pathways for new markets and opportunities under the AFTA framework.
Speaking to Metro News, Francis Doku, West African Regional Director of Africa Tourism Partners, described the festival as a transformational platform for Africa's creative space.
This was to launch the Creatives Connect Africa by the AFCFTA. And the AFCFTA, in partnership with the government of Ghana through the Black Star Experience Secretariat, and then the Africa Tourism Partners. I think that we have realized that there's a need to give some empowerment to the creatives on the continent. If the agenda that Africa has set for itself, Agenda 2063, the AFCFTA, and everything that we're doing will succeed, I think we believe that creatives will play a very important role. So this is to look at how to bring creatives across the continent and beyond together to have conversations, to have partnerships, and see how to escalate the things that they do already.
On her part, the Director of Trade in Services, Investment, Intellectual Property Rights and Digital Trade at the AFTA Secretariat, Emily Mburu Ndoria, said this was a great opportunity for creatives across the African continent to collaborate.
What is expected out of this forum and festival is for our African youth to actually take up the opportunities that the African Continental Free Trade Area is creating together with the government of Ghana and the African Tourism Partners to showcase what they have so that their creative works moves from just being a hobby to being a productive and prosperous work that can actually give them the revenue that they need to actually develop the few sectors that they are working on.
Right, so that's the detail of the story. But we are back in the studio here, and we are going to further discuss that and a lot of other issues. Let me introduce my guest to you for the afternoon, and my very own boss is here. And I behind the scenes, I was asking him how and when he left his previous place, that if I was looking for a job, I would be running to him and asking him a lot of questions. We've been with him, and you know his face. But now he's West Africa Director for African Tourism Partners. You all know him, Mr. Francis Doku. Chief, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well.
It's been a long time, though.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, we've been around doing stuff underground.
Let me come back and ask you what
Sure.
you've been doing. And let me introduce Emily Mburu Ndoria. I hope I got the name right.
You tried.
And she is the Director, Trade in Services, Investment, Intellectual Property, Rights and Digital Trade at AFCFTA Secretariat. And I was just mentioning after, but for the purposes of people that are watching us, it's important that we let them know, like I am learning now, it is not for us to pronounce after, it is AFCFTA. That is it, right?
Exactly.
AFCFTA.
Yes.
So I'll come back to you pretty shortly. And we've played the video for you. It's about the creative arts industry, not only in Ghana, not only in West Africa, but of course in the whole of Africa, and how we harness the potential into economic development. But let me come to you now, Chief. What have you been doing in the last 2 years that has brought you here today, and of course within the creative arts sector? West Africa, Africa Tourism Partners. What have you been doing?
So I wear a few hats, literally, you know, and one of them is to represent Africa Tourism Partners in West Africa, but I also run my media consultancy agency called Maestro Africa Group. But Africa Tourism Partners is doing a lot on the continent. It was created by one Ghanaian who hasn't lived a lot of his life in Ghana. It's called Mr. Kwachi Donko.
Okay.
He's based in South Africa, and he started this consultancy to help develop tourism conversations across Africa. And over the years, about almost a decade, he's organized several fora across different markets that seeks to bring together tourism practitioners, investors, policymakers, and all that to have conversations about tourism. A few of the products that
I'll come to the product. I'll come to the product, but let me talk to Emily briefly on what the project we just saw is. Then I'll come to the details of what is addressing us on. Then we can now expand to the entire economic space. So what's the project about? What we just saw on TV.
Thank you very much. And maybe before I start, let me acknowledge the Secretary General of the AFCFTA Secretariat, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, who has actually sent me to be with you here today.
Oh, we thank him. We thank him also. Yes. We have been looking for him. We want him to come so we can discuss lots of things on Africa.
So this is a start. Anyway, so Creative Connect Africa is really part of a bigger program that we have actually been taking care of, and that is the AFCFTA Forum and Festival on the tourism, creative, and the cultural industries. So it is a combination of a number of sectors that come together to support each other to be able to build the economic fabric of the continent. And, you know, half the time when you talk tourism, when you talk creative or cultural, people just think of the fun. They don't think of how this then contributes to our economies. And so what we are doing now is to say, yes, we have tourism, we have creative, and we have the cultural, but how do we ensure that these young people especially who are in these sectors can be productive in terms of not only taking these as hobbies, I know I said that on Friday, and I repeat again, but as productive areas of building the economies where they can actually be able to get their revenue in so doing. So that's really the essence of it. So it's part of the work that we do at the AFCFTA Secretariat and part of the whole structure of the African continent.
But your portfolio goes beyond just the creative arts. Yours is the trade, digital, I see digital trade, intellectual property, trading services, investment, and so on and so forth. So you look at everything that has to do with trade.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes, please. And they're all interlinked. Now, we are looking at the tourism sector. You need investment in the tourism sector.
That's a current project. But there are other projects that you embark on.
Generally speaking.
But now you are focusing on the tourism sector.
For this section. But we have many programs. As you very well know, we have Biashara Africa. Biashara Africa is coming up also in early November in Togo. That is one of our main flagship projects or initiatives at the AFCFTA Secretariat. We have others. We had the Digital Trade Forum in Zambia earlier in the year. We have other programs. We had the Guided Trade Initiative, which was to assist countries in terms of trading using the instruments of the AFCFTA. So there is the two elements. There is the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is the big, let's say the big picture. That is where the member states themselves are fully involved in ensuring we implement the different agreements that we have. And then there is the AFCFTA Secretariat. Now, the Secretariat is mandated by the member states to assist them in the implementation and the negotiations, of course, of these different agreements. So one of the key agreements that we are talking about today is the Protocol on Trading Services. So part of what we are doing is really implementing the Protocol on Trading Services. But it's interlinked with all the others. And as we move further, I'll explain that.
So, I mean, I get it now. It's really captured. I'll come back and ask you why tourism now. I'll come back and ask that. But let me come to my boss. And you're on a point on the things that you do. I think we had a little problem with your mic, but it's very well now. So let me allow you to land on the point, and I'll come back to ask you also the same question. Because you have been in the space, you understand, especially in the Ghanaian space, when it comes to the media, when it comes to creative arts, when it comes to talent development, and so on and so forth. So how important is it for you that after we'll take this course and this event that is coming up? So I'll go and ask her why this at the time, and I'll come back to you on that. But please land on the things that we've been doing so far.
Yeah, so I was building the point about Africa Tourism Partners and some of the things that they've done on the continent. So there's what is called the Africa Business Tourism Masterclass, which is taking place or takes place every year in South Africa. It's been done in South Africa and other places. But this week, I think from 27th and 28th this week, it's happening again in South Africa. It brings together people within that space. Then there's the Africa Tourism Leaders Forum, which is also a gathering of people in tourism to have conversations about Africa and how we can project our tourism. And then there's the Africa Youth Tourism Summit and Challenge, which also gives opportunity for young people to pitch their business ideas as far as tourism and other areas is concerned. So that's what ATP does and has been doing. And one of the things that ATP has done over the years was to engage the AFCFTA Secretariat to look at how to build what you call the trading services into tourism and all that. Since about 3 years ago in Botswana and other markets that it has taken place. And then I believe that as that conversation was ongoing, it was discussed how to expand it beyond just it happening within a small event as part of ATLF, but to have a forum and festival that will bring policymakers, entrepreneurs, creatives, and everybody together to have conversation about how to expand what they already do within their small spaces, within the African continent, I believe, beyond. And Director Emily can explain that even more. But it's a partnership. So this is like a private-public partnership. So ATP is a private organization. The government of Ghana, through the Black Star experience, is also a government. And then AFCFTA, which is also a supra-government organization, coming together to look at how to help our creatives, especially. And I think the passion for the leaders of the continent to see how young people can properly own the things they do and expand it beyond their small. So this conversation has been about how to help the young people in creative, how to look at policymakers to properly understand how investors can look at opportunities available and to help put investment in that space. So,
because I think we've been talking for far too long. We need practicality. We need the growth of these young talents in a very coordinated manner, in a very guided manner. Policy initiatives should guide how they do their business, how they grow their talents, whether it's music they are making, how they make the music and all of that. So that brings me to the point, why are you doing it now? And for you, as an industry expert, I think it's been far too long coming. Why have we delayed up until now? So why now?
Okay, we can't say we've delayed it. And I think part of it was that people expected too much. But I believe we've tried in the delivering of the expectations. Now, we have first the negotiations. And when we talk negotiations, we are saying member states coming together to discuss how do we liberalize or how do we open up our different sectors so that we can be able to easily trade, especially in the area of tourism. And that's because we are talking tourism. But for us, we say trade in services. Now, when we say trade in services, it's mostly intangible. So it's not something you can see. So for most people, it's more difficult to understand. At least with goods, when you say we are removing tariffs,
You
so
know
that
that
you
you
can cross
have
borders.
produced cassava, you have produced
Exactly.
tomatoes, manufacturing is going on. But for the services, it's difficult
services,
to...
it's
yes,
more
I
difficult.
appreciate, yes.
So because of that, then it's harder to negotiate. And so you need to have more trainings, even for the member states. You need stakeholder engagement, because right now we're talking tourism. Our main constituency is normally ministries of trade. Now, ministries of trade then have to get in touch with their counterparts in Ministry of Tourism to be able to negotiate. You have the different boards in different countries, the tourism boards, you have the associations, you have the service providers, you have the academia that is dealing in the different areas. So if we talk tourism, you can already imagine the number of stakeholders that have to be brought together to be able to discuss how does the country even come round to actually negotiating and finalize. So why now? We have about 25 countries that have given us their, what we call in our language, the commitments, schedules of specific commitments to open up their different sectors, including the tourism sector. So, and maybe here I should say we are still waiting for Ghana, but not to put you too much on the spot.
But we are hosting, we are hosting the secretariat.
And that's why I need to give you
why
the pressure.
Why haven't you done it yet?
So that's why you need to be pressured.
That's some kind of subtle pressure,
Yeah.
but you should give it them more so that we are the host. We had our president in Singapore just yesterday or 2 days ago talking about the fact that we are hosting the AFCFTA, opening up our borders for businesses and so on, growing our SMEs. And so yes, it is important that you give us, whether subtle
pressure,
or it's important that we sign up to it.
Yes, and we hope that with this Creative Connect Africa Forum and Festival, it's actually going to make them see the importance of making this kind of commitments, because when we make the commitments at the continental level, what are we saying? That Ghanaians, creatives, can actually be able to go to East Africa, in Uganda, and perform there easily and to get in easily. So how do we do that? We can only do that when there are commitments on both sides. So we need the Ghanaians to make commitments, we need the Ugandans to make commitments. And in this case, the Ugandans have already done it. So we now need the Ghanaians to also do it. And in so doing, it will be easier for our creatives if, let's say, it's the cultural dancers. We had the cultural dancers during the launch on Friday, and it's lovely. How do we mix these two cultures from Uganda with the Baganda Kingdom and the cultural aspects of it, and the different cultural experiences between the countries in Africa, so that we are not only looking at it as entertainment just for us to have a few dancers, but we are looking at it as an economic activity.
Yes. So let me come to you, my boys. I'm getting it from Emily, and I think that the local dances we have in Ghana, for example, the Adowa, the Kiti, and so on and so forth, will be difficult to be found in South Africa or Ethiopia or somewhere. And so this is very important. But I'll still ask, why now? Why have we delayed up until now? And then that's some of the targets or that's some of the results we may be getting. But practically, what exactly are we looking at eventually to get from this one? And I'm not sure this will be the one and only project, as you mentioned, but the relationship you have built, Ghana, AFCFTA, and then
Black Star Experience.
And of course, Africa Tourism Partners. Eventually, what are we seeking to hit at, to gain? Where are we going?
I think that to answer about why now is that I believe a lot of things have been happening. Individual countries have been, doing their own thing. We've had our own NAFAC, and other cultural, events and programs. I believe Kenyans have theirs, South Africans have theirs, and as you mentioned, Africa is a cultural continent. I believe every continent have their own culture, but Africa has a lot more in relation to cultural things, and I stand corrected, but I'll claim that.
No,
for
I think
us.
I agree with you.
You know,
I think I agree. If you go to Europe
Yeah.
and you see any other African,
Yeah.
you immediately you think this is my brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether in the
Yeah.
US or wherever,
Yeah.
even in South Africa, any other place.
Yeah.
Once you see another African, the immediate thing is that this is my brother.
Absolutely.
But when you come in, there are the divisions, and so
Yeah.
what you are doing is so important.
Yeah,
but let me allow you.
Yeah,
to,
it is. So, but I'm sure you'd also know Ghana is very strong on culture. I mean, if Kenya's biggest source of tourists is the USA.
Yeah.
Ghana's biggest source of tourists is the USA. But most people go to Kenya because of wildlife, and for now, and Ghana mostly because of heritage and culture.
Yes.
You know, so every country has what they are strong in, and I believe we are stronger when it comes to cultural, tourism and all that. And so, I believe the conversations have been ongoing about how to tap from each other and make this a continental thing, so that we don't limit it just to Botswana. What do you call people from Botswana? Matwana, right? Matwana doing their own thing, or Botswana doing their own thing, South Africans doing their own thing, Ghanaians doing their own thing. How do we leverage each other's strength, and make sure that we expand? And I believe that, as I mentioned earlier, some of these conversations have been going on at different fora, including ATLF. But now, after, for instance, Ghana had agreed, because Ghana realized that we want to talk about Black's experience, and Black's experience is mainly cultural and tourism, related. It was the biggest flagship program that the government, while in opposition, promised. And so when opportunity came, I believe that they realized that they needed to take it. So I believe Director Emily will mention that Ghana is going to have the right to host it for 3 years. Okay, because this is not a Ghana event per se. It's just Ghana partnering AFCFTA to hold this event for 3 years. And then I believe other countries will see the worth in it and say that, okay, let us so take it. But the reason I believe it is going to be 3 years is because you need to have some time to properly benefit from the initial heavy lifting. And this is very heavy lifting because, like you said, this is the first edition, and it's taking some time for it to happen in our market. And so we believe that the outcome...
We're doing well. Ghana is doing very well.
Yeah, but we've been having it with ATP for the past 3 years. So it's been a one-day event during the ATLP, and we've had it in Botswana. So for 3 years, we were in Botswana, and we just used to have a one-day during their meetings. And so we were calling it the AFCFTA Tourism, Creative and Cultural Industries Forum. And no, it didn't have the festival then. It was just a forum. And so with it, His Excellency Wamkelemene then said, we can't just have it in one country. So now we were changing it to become now this new flagship where we were including the festival. And he said, no, we need to move to other African countries. And so where best than home, than where you're hosting us. So it was the best place to come. And so when Black Star Experience Secretariat, Mr. Rex Omar, came to us, it was just a natural.
Absolutely.
It was the best thing to do. That now we can be able at last to even explain properly, let me put it that way, to the audience here in Ghana, why you're hosting the AFCFTA and the importance of the AFCFTA even to the Ghanaian economy and the work that we are doing generally. So if you look at the tourism sector, and maybe this comes back to your question of why now, the tourism sector is one of those sectors that is interlinked with all the other areas of the economy. For your tourists to come to Ghana, they have to use transport. They have to either use air transport, road transport, rail transport, whichever mode of transport, they have to use transport. When they come to this country, they
even
have
if
to
they
eat.
walk across the border, it's still transport.
It's still transport. They have to eat when they're here.
They use the banking sector as well.
They use
have
your
to do
banking sector.
transactions, so they do that. So every sector of the economy.
insurance.
So it brings me to one point and one concern.
Yes, please.
That yes, there is a market for every produce, whether the traditional crops, agriculture, or whatever. And for your industry as a creative arts industry, 1.4 billion people, they say there is a market. But you will see a big star like Shatta Wale in Ghana, who is not known in Ethiopia, not known in Botswana, as you will help me pronounce it eventually. And all of that. The infrastructure and the platforms. I know you're doing well. You're trying everything possible, including these events. But they are not enough for the growth of these talents, of the industry in which you are. There are barriers and challenges that you face. Are we moving forward at all?
And that's where we come in as the AFCFTA Secretariat and the African Continental Free Trade as a whole.
That's why we need a commitment.
Exactly. Now you're back to my first point.
Yes,
that's where we need the commitments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we need the negotiations among member states so that they can open up to make sure that they remove the barriers, if you may call them that. You saw what happened when President Trump from the US actually put up the tariffs. Everybody woke up. Now trade relations, even in the US, with the US have become shaky. So what do you do? And I think this is the best moment for Africa. You turn to your African neighbor.
What would the commitments include? Before I come to him, I'm still on that point, and I'm quite concerned about that. It will not take just the transportation we are talking about. It will take funding. For example, governments, if the commitments are signed, governments committing to pushing some funds, and not just allowing that, oh, okay, so Mr. Doku, we have committed to it, we have signed to it. You can go and have a free play in the field. We need a conscious policy effort from our government, from different governments, to support what you're doing. So is a commitment coming with that, or just the signing of MOUs and we are there? So you can answer that, and you will answer the same thing.
And I think if it's commitment, I think she can answer it better.
She does, but you are going to use it, implement it. You are going to make sure it is practicalized.
No, what I know is that commitment would help in the sense that it would, for instance, if there's commitment on the part of Ghana, then there's commitment on the part of Uganda, then it makes it easier for us to move between, the two, countries. So it will help in that wave to properly leverage what they have, and they also leverage what we have. So together we all grow. I know that that's the level of when commitment is made under this, but I believe what it takes to make commitment, she can say it better. Because if it was just easy signing, I don't know why Ghana would not have done it.
So maybe what it takes to make the commitment, let's listen.
I think here we have to separate. There is the commitments in terms of paper to open up and say we are going to allow the creatives or the investors from Ghana to come to Uganda, if I continue with my same example. And then there is the financial commitments. So the financial commitment is something separate. Financial commitments of governments is like your government now, the government of Ghana, then committing to establish the Black Star experience to actually push the issues related to the creatives and the cultural in the country. So there is those two different types of commitments. So we have to be clear which commitment we are talking about.
Absolutely.
Because if you talk commitment in our trade language, we are saying you're committing to actually open up your sector so that foreign service suppliers can actually be able to come into your market.
So there's some financial issues about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's a different financial issue.
Okay.
Yeah, that is policy. Now, there is the financial component.
Exactly.
And for us, the financial component is then you setting up the Black Star experience to be able to use that as the driver of pushing the issues of the creative and cultural nationally. So there are those two different commitments that need to be done. So when we talk AFCFTA, we want that commitment for you to open up so that you will have service suppliers, in this case, other creatives and investors and the, all the different people, the digital component of it, that they will be able to actually come into the country. And, when we talk creatives, it's big. We are talking also the gastronomy, we are talking also the sports component, and
I'm happy about that, because that was going to lead me into my next question to you, and maybe you would answer the same, that people will hear of the festival today and other days that you do the publicity and would want to come in. But you have some people who think that the creative arts industry is all about entertainment. Or when you have the festival, it's about Davido or some musician in South Africa coming to perform, and that's just it. Or maybe now we are elevating the discussion to the cultural performances. But there is the aspect where some of us get interested. The number of jobs being created by the industry. If you get into the hotels, for example, tourism, how many jobs they are contributing to the growth of Ghana's economy alone, just in the private sector. The people that are singing, how many people they are actually creating jobs for. The artist managers and so on and so forth. The people that are on digital platforms selling the music and all of that. You are an expert. Let me allow you on that point how relevant it is for us, the industry, creative arts industry, and the need for everybody to join in, get in, support the AFCFTA and Africa Tourism Partners to grow the industry. How? Why? What's the...
Well, I should say that, I mean, for this forum, I think Director explained that it is the Tourism, Creative and Cultural Industries Forum and Festival. And so it embraces all these areas under... But for this particular edition, hope maybe in the subsequent ones, different focus will be placed on different areas. This one focuses on three main sectors, fashion, film, and music. So there will be different, master classes, there will be different conversations, forums, and different things having conversation about these three areas. But
and I'm happy about the master class. I was going to ask about, you see, a lot of people in the creative arts also think that I'll just go into the studio, do what I like, or sit somewhere, do what I like, and if it catches fire, it grows. But there are people who also consciously go through training. So please go.
So yeah, no, it's fine. It's your job. There's a lot of talent in Africa, and talent in different areas. Not only on the three areas that this particular forum and festival is focusing on, but in many other areas. I think what we haven't properly been able to unlock is how to transfer that talent into proper business, that help the young people to make, money beyond just, the little that they have. So that is why it's important that we hold just a forum like this to properly break things down. I mean, and trust the AFCFTA and ATP. There are a network of experts across the continent and beyond who will come into this country in November when this event takes place. It's 25th to 28th November at the La Palme Royal Beach Hotel. And
25th to 28th November.
And they will descend on Ghana, many of them in different areas with different expertise, who will take on the master classes, the forums, the whole conversation, and properly take young people who have come through, how they will do to unlock, their talent, how they can have partnerships, how they can, have investors investing in their business. So total, knowledge sharing and learning about how to move your craft beyond just where it is to the next level. So it's important that anybody who has any talent, who is an entrepreneur in one of the areas that we mentioned, should find a way to be at La Palme around these times. It will be both on ground, physical, and also virtual. So
but
if you
people need to come.
People need to come. I think it is best to be on the ground. But maybe if you live in
outside
Tajikistan somewhere and you still want to take part, we'll provide an opportunity for that to happen. But I believe that it is important that, especially young people. I mean, when we say young people, I mean, people like us, we've already gone past some stage, but still it's an opportunity for everybody to learn, because so long as you live and have some work within the space that we talk about, there is always opportunity for you to leverage. The partners outside that you can have conversation with to get your business beyond just where you are. So I believe it's a great opportunity for young people. And if tourism is done well, it's the biggest employer.
I think so.
It's the biggest employer if it is done well. In some countries, tourism contributes, places like Seychelles contributes almost about 70 to 80% of their GDP. So it means that it's a lot of people around those spaces. We have tried to do it, but I believe that such opportunities will help us to do it better and move ourselves forward.
I like the fact that you bring in people who can watch online. It brings my mind now to the question of online presence for the creative art industry. I don't know the data, but I mean, from the word go, it looks as if it is weak for our creative arts people, people with crafts, people with that intelligence to create things. And so there are some people who are doing well anyway, online, selling their businesses, using it to market, using it to grow their talent. But generally, looking at the population of Africa, of Ghana, of West Africa, and how it is being used, use it as the, let me look at it again, the intellectual property rights and digital trade point. How do we, as a continent, make use of technology? Now, AI is in, and we need them to be able to understand. And that's why, again, I'm happy about Chief. You mentioned there is a master class going to do. Is that going to happen there? And beyond that, how are we able, AFCFTA, Africa Tourism Partners, and everybody come together to support the growth of our African creative arts industry players in the area of technology?
Thank you. And I think that one is so important, especially for our youth. You know, I gave us an example another day. I had not gone to Nairobi City for the longest time. So it was the weekend, it was a Sunday, I needed my hair done, I went to the city. And I was so shocked. I was like, why are there so many people in the city? But they were all young people creating content for TikTok, for Instagram. So, you know, the youth are big on the whole digital marketing and digital presence. So how do we use that to ensure that they make some money out of it? And I think that's the essence of our Creative Connector Africa, that we shall be able to show them that you can not only do it for entertainment, entertaining yourself, but you can actually make money. And some of them know it better than us, to say the truth, because they put it out there. It's about getting the numbers so that they can actually be able to get revenue out of it. So how do you also protect that? And that is where the intellectual property component also comes in. And so the copyrights, how do we protect them using the copyright annex that we are finalizing? So that brings back the question that I said, the interlinkages between the work of the tourism, creative and cultural and other works that we are even also taking care of under the AFCFTA. We have a protocol on intellectual property rights that has already been negotiated, and now we are looking at the different annexes, one of them being the one on copyright to protect these young creatives when they have their creations done. We have the investment protocol. The investment protocol is important. Why? Because then our investors coming from the continent, from one country to another, how do we ensure that we protect also our investors and that our investors also don't abuse these creators? So there is those two components that also have to be taken care of. Then we have the protocol on competition policy. Once we have the big, let's say, the Marriotts and the Sheratons of this world, when they come into the market, are they competing in a fair manner? So you have the competition policy. You have the women and youth protocol. The women and youth protocol is also meant to ensure that we have inclusion so that we do not ignore these large numbers that are there when we talk women and we talk the youth. Then we have other protocols that are key for us to ensure that we are able to move goods from one country to another, and that the protocol on goods. You know, sometimes we talk about the new protocols so much that we forget the ones. And finally, the protocol on digital trade. So the protocol on digital trade is actually meant to be fundamental to the youth, to support them, to be able to move across borders with their digital products without so much of a problem. And so we would also be looking at how do we ensure that we make our participants aware of these instruments that have already been developed for their good. We are talking fashion. So one of the three areas that we will be looking at will be fashion. When you talk fashion, you're talking about goods. So you will be talking about these products.
Obviously.
How will they move from one country to another? So the protocol on trading goods becomes fundamental.
Important,
and
very
the annexes, such as the rules of origin. So yes, we have a lot being handled. And why tourism? It's because the tourism sector touches on basically all the different areas of the economy.
So what I'll do is this. I have, well, let me just take the break and I'll read one or two questions from people that are watching us to you, and then we can round up before I go to my next activity on my lineup for the afternoon. You're watching us. We are discussing the Creative Connect Africa Forum and Festival, which is coming up on the 25th to the 28th of November. I think it's very important, and I have these experts who are here helping us do justice to the event which is coming up. You watch the video. If we have the opportunity, we'll play it for the last time. But let's go on a quick break and come back.
The Gbese Manche Homowo Festival and Business Summit has been organized to promote tourism, cultural diplomacy, and international business relations between Ghana and the diaspora. The three-day event is scheduled from 26th to 28th of September 2025. Activities include Business Summit, where potential businesses and investors meet on the 26th and 27th of September. Also on 27th September is the sprinkling of Pokpe. 28th September is the Homowo Festival in the park with lots of food, live music and dance. These events will happen live at the historic Utrecht University Botanical Gardens, Utrecht in the Netherlands. There will also be sightseeing and a night of entertainment in Germany. The Gbese Manche Homowo Festival and Business Summit in the Netherlands and Germany will be a fun and bricks business. Registration is open to all businesses and corporate institutions. For inquiries, call 0244 268 074 or 0246 845 516. Registration closes on 25th of August 2025. Hurry and place your calls. Limited spaces are available on a priority basis.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream. And this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer my calls, Alvaro. I haven't heard anything from you. I've sent you so many messages, but you've never responded.
Have you left the bus station?
I just want to pay my debt and get out of here.
Her photographs are going to sell fast and she will be our gold mine. Our clients will love those.
Are you looking for a boyfriend?
You Are the One. Featuring Alejandra Robles Gil, Brandon Peniche, Danilo Carrera, Bárbara Islas, Ernesto LaGuardia, and a great cast.
Fifra ye free nyina ye de obedientia. De ya fugia ne aduane. Saasro pintin bi aseda ome. De ye di koye mu ne de awie nyina na makuafo modem so. Won fifre su ne enya bidio. Nanso bate aseman Ghana mu a. Akuafo akoya abo pupu obo wasio na so da su kache. Wona sam fifre mama mu nyina nya bidie. Nanso mpuntudwo mu aka akiri pa. Ekwan ben ne befa so ama akuafo fifre ho aba mfaso de. Aban hyehye ne dwumadi ahodo ode bre akuafo no bo wote ase. Feed Ghana ye den. Na nkokọ ketenkete so mfaso ama akuafo nso ye den. We inti na hyehye dwumadi esunkwa ya to ne akuafo mo. Ye de bre Original TV and Metro TV so. Dwumadi beba akwanya ama mpanyimfo anim de ewa abafukaye mu akire wadwen. Ye je akuafo ha no amane akogye mu aye e de afri aban mu mpanyimfo ho. Enimi ni ehia akuafo nyonko samo wonto eda joada enwumre no nso kosi ne no nwotwe e Original TV so. Saanso na da yawada enwumre no nwotwe kosi no nkono e Metro TV so. Akuafo mo Ghana akuafo abomoden na yempene wo.
Equiafumo is sponsored by ACAP Compost. ACAP Compost comes in 3 varieties: ACAP Compost, ACAP Compost X, ACAP Compost Plus.
You're welcome back from the break. I am still here with Francis Doku, who is Director, West Africa, African Tourism Partners, and Emily Mburu Ndorio, Director, Trade in Services, Investments, Intellectual Property, Right and Digital Trade. I'll read just about 1 or 2 questions. Somebody says, most of them have been answered though. What opportunities exist for the job creation and entrepreneurship in the creative arts industry, and if I partake in the upcoming event? This is from Enin Daniel in Awushi. How can the creative industry promote cultural exchange? Okay, this has been answered already. Let me see if I have more. Ghana's tourism industry is vulnerable to global shocks. How do we overcome that as a country? Maybe we can see if we can make meaning of what the texter is saying. Mokoko, you didn't tell us where you are texting from. There is also security concerns to the creative arts industry. Artists on stage coming up with the bodyguards and so on and so forth. You also didn't tell us where you are texting from. But, I mean, if you want to address any of these, let me begin with you and then.
Yeah, I think first of all, Director mentioned something in relation to the youth.
Yes.
And that has to be emphasized. I mean, Africa is the youngest continent, you know, because over 70% of our population is youthful, you know. So there's a need to look at the things that can help them properly harness, you know, their talent to make it. So events and opportunities like this, I believe, you know, would help that. Now to talk about the vulnerability of Ghana, I don't think it's only Ghana that is vulnerable. Our continent is vulnerable when it comes to tourism because of many things that kind of hinder against properly expanding our tourism space. Africa contributes less than 10% to global tourism. I mean, 1.4 billion people traveled in 2024. Less than 100 million of that were Africans, or those who visited different continents. Africa had just about 7% of that. So it is important that we look at the things that would expand our tourism. Some of the hindrances and why we are unable to, even within our continent, travel very well, has to do with visa issues. I mean, has to do with air transportation. I mean, recently I saw a CNN reporter, Larry Mado, post on LinkedIn that he traveled from Kenya to Ivory Coast for the Africa CEO Summit. And it cost him more than when he's traveling from Nairobi to the US.
That's true.
You know, and so there's a need to look at some of this. I mean, as we have these conversations about how to expand our tourism, you know, everything, even as we talk about proper cultural and, you know, creative stuff. There's a need, I believe, also for, and I'm sure that would happen also for conversations about how to remove some of these bottlenecks that prevent us from properly harnessing the opportunities that tourism have for us on the continent, especially. I think the next thing will be how to work with policy, and that's why this forum is very important. Because it's not just a forum to come and have concerts and dance around and go. It will be also having hard conversations about policy issues. Having pitch, you know, young people pitch their ideas to investors, having things around that happening and all that. So some of the activities, I believe, if we read them before we leave here and say that, okay, on day 1, these are the things that will happen. Day 2, this is what will happen. But generally, these are some of the things. And we believe that everybody who has some creative ability, talent, everything that they want to look at the next chapter, this is where they have to be.
Unfortunately, our time is up, but let me allow you to run us through the program. You said it's coming up on the 25th to the 28th of November. And it is the Creative Connect Africa Forum and Festival. Why should anybody attend? Who can attend? Who are you expecting? And then for the people that are watching, those in Ghana, how are they able to come and where?
Okay. So as Francis mentioned, it's going to be at La Palme Hotel here in Accra, Ghana. And the idea is really to ensure that we bring everybody, all the stakeholders, the policymakers, the investors, the entrepreneurs, what we like call the small and medium enterprises. All the people who are in the creatives. And here when we talk creatives, we are focused on 3 key areas, and that is the music, which goes with dancing. So that one, let us also remember that. The film industry, and also the fashion industry. So that's the focus for this year. And so for those 3 areas, we are going to first start with masterclasses. On the 25th of November, we will be having masterclasses for those 3 areas. Now, after that, the opening ceremony of the forum and festival will be on the 26th. And we really are calling on all the key policymakers. And here, we are reminded by the Black Star experience that the president is really pushing for creatives. And during his campaigns, he was talking about Creative Connect.
He's actually employed lots of people from the industry into his government as ministers, as CEOs, and so on and so forth.
Specifically because of that reason and the importance of the sector in the general building of the economy. And so we are also expecting that he will also grace the occasion, being such an important key area. And just to say that we actually got the name from his campaign, which is Creative Connect.
Creative Connect. From President John Dramani Mahama.
Exactly.
Well, that's some exciting news to note. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And it's still about the Creative Connect Africa Forum and Festival happening on the November. There will be master classes. All of us will be joining. So make sure that wherever you're watching us from, if you can't join us in person, there will be an online segment as well. Once you look for us on any social media platform, I'm sure you'll find us. And if you get to AFCFTA platform too, I'm sure you will find us. If you get to Africa Tourism Partners platform as well, I'm sure you will find us. Thank you very much. So Francis Doku, maybe I'll not go in there. Let me not go back in there. Let me just address him for the reason he's here. The West Africa Director for Africa Tourism Partners. That's him now. So let me.
We can talk after the show.
And then Emily Mburu Ndoria. Emily Mburu Ndoria is the Director, Trading Services, Investment, Intellectual Property Rights, and Digital Trade. It is not after. Please take note. AFCFTA Secretariat. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
So that's the end of this segment. The next one would have been on the markets, but unfortunately we are not able to bring that to you. What we'll play for you is a recording we have on the development of rural health facilities here in Ghana and how some philanthropists are trying to help. We had an interview with some 2 philanthropists here in the studio. We'll play that to you for the rest of the 10 minutes or so for the show to end. Thank you very much. Stay with us. Don't go away. Also, a special welcome to the show. And this interview is quite exciting for me because these are my friends who have come all the way from Switzerland to Ghana on tourism. Maybe I would say health tourism. And there is the opportunity for us to have a discussion this very hour. And I'm excited about what they are here to do, what they've been doing so far, and how they are finding Ghana. So let me welcome my friends, Andreas and his wife, Grace, here in the studio. Andreas, thank you very much for joining us, and let me say welcome to you.
Thank you very much.
Are you okay and everything all right?
I'm okay, and yeah, it's great to be here.
You are welcome to Ghana, and let me welcome Grace too. Grace, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
And are you enjoying Ghana already?
Yes, we do.
You're enjoying Ghana?
Yeah.
What's quite exciting about Ghana so far for you?
It's a very interesting country. It's a different landscape, the north and the south, and very friendly, lovely people, and when we travel around, we feel every time safety, and it's nice to be here.
But this is your first time or second or third?
No, it's our third time here in Ghana.
Third time. Oh, that means you love Ghana.
Yes.
And are you going to come back again?
Yes, I think we will come back again. Yeah.
Oh, that would be exciting. Let me ask you too. You love Ghana? Will you come back again? So you have been here the third time?
Yes, we are the third time, and I think it's not the last time.
But what excites you about Ghana? What do you like about Ghana?
I think people are lovely, and also the history and the heritage is very interesting, and yeah, the nature, you can see a lot of things, and yeah, it's very interesting.
But why do you come to Ghana? Is it only for tourism, or it's for visiting your friends? I know I'm your friend, but of course for the people that are watching. So why do you like coming to Ghana for the third time?
It's a little bit of both. For us, it's also tourism, to see the land, to see Ghana, to visit Ghana, and yeah, and tourist stuff, but also to see the health, or the hospitals and stuff like that, because we both work in a hospital in Switzerland, and we decided to give our our devices, medical device, to Ghana.
Yes.
Not used device in Switzerland, and to help hospitals in Ghana with this device.
Yes. So we are going to put some on the screen, some of the donations that I personally did on your behalf to some hospitals on the screen, some CT scans on the screens. But first of all, let me start with you. What exactly do you do? People that are watching us will want to find out that what do you do as a person?
I work in Switzerland in a universal hospital as a transplant coordinator, and we have patients there on the waiting list for heart, liver, kidney, or lung, and we work with this patients. And then when we have a donor, we make all the coordination with surgeons, anesthesia, and
so you look for donors, people who are ready to give their hearts and liver and count.
No, I look for the recipient.
The recipient.
Yes, for the recipient, and we get email or call from Swiss Transplant, it's a national transplant organization, and they say us we have a donor in a hospital in Switzerland, or sometimes in other European countries, and then we get an offer for our patient for this organ, and then I talk with my surgeons, and we talk about, is this the right organ for our patient? And when I say to Swiss Transplant, yes, we want this heart, then I must organize all for the next day, or sometimes for some hours.
So they go and take the heart out of the person.
Then I send a surgeon team to the other hospital, and they take out the heart from the. But the donor, they are all brain death. And
they are dying.
They can't live anymore, and then we can take the organ. Yeah.
That means the doctors have declared that these people cannot live anymore.
Yeah.
And so they now offer to give their hearts and lungs or kidney.
Kidney, liver, and pancreas.
Wow, that's quite exciting. Let me put it that way. That's quite exciting, but also very scary. And you go and see all of this process and look at the person dying, and you take the heart out.
Yep.
Well, so I don't know whether we have same in Ghana at Korle Bu, but of course we've had or we've seen some doctors who have done the open heart surgery and so on and so forth before. But as to whether we have a process where we can have donors who are ready to give off their hearts and pancreas and kidney and so on and so forth, maybe we'll have to do the research and come talk to you, doctors at Kolebu and Konfonochi, and see. But that's exactly what she does, which is very scary. But let me come to you, Andreas, also. You work where, and what exactly do you do?
I work as a medical technician.
Mm-hmm.
I repair X-ray, ultrasound, the medical devices in the university hospital of Zurich. And I'm a group leader. I have 18 employees, and we fixed the problems with these machines, and we have 27,000 devices in Switzerland and in our hospital.
27,000?
27,000.
In the hospital?
In our hospital.
And you take care of all of these devices and equipment?
Yes.
That's quite exciting. But you bring some to Ghana through your friends, Victoria, and of course, myself.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition